Hello explorers and welcome to another video. Today we're gonna continue learning about Linux. Okay, so let's continue. The next package we need to install is Gettext. And we are unpackaging that. It's gonna take a little bit longer to build this one. So first up, we need to suppress two invocations of test locks, which on some machine can loop forever. So we need to remove some things that can actually be killing the machine or being run forever. So in the make file, we remove tests. Okay, and from the test lock extension, we remove that test lock. Okay, and then we need to fix a configuration file issue. So in this case, we will change app data to app data and meta to meta info. So I guess that this is Gettext is built for Windows or Mac, where it's called app data with large characters, I guess, and then we change it up to the Linux equal values. So now we can configure it. We set the prefix as usual, we disable statics and set the doc directory. So that's pretty much standard stuff. So the Gettext package, I have spoken about it before. It contains utilities for internationalization and localization and allows program to be compiled with the native language support, NLS for short, enabling them to output messages in the user's native language. And that's good that you can actually get your, for instance, command prompt in your native language, Dutch, Swedish, German, whatever it might be, or Arabic. It depends on where you're from. I have had it in Swedish once, and the problem with having the native language in your console is that most of the error reports are in English, for instance. So finding the same amount of support in another language can be difficult. So I usually run my system in English just so I can search for errors easier. So that's something to keep in mind, but this gives you an option if you so require. So this configure step seems to be going on for a bit here. Let's see, it should probably be done soon. And after this, we need to run make and make check. And those will take some time. So I will type them out and run them in sequence. And then I will get back to you when they are done. So this was a long configure script that took a long while to actually run and configure all the different settings that were required. So I will run make and make check in sequence, and if make will fail, then everything fails. But if it's successful, it will run make check, and this will take 5 SPUs. So I will start running it, and when it's done, I'll get back to you. But we can talk a little bit about the different things that is in here. We have auto point, which copies standard Gettext infrastructure into files to a source package. We have msubst, which substitutes an environment variables in shell. We have the gettext command that translates natural language messages into the user language. And we also have some getTexterize that will copy the text over. So getText, I have used that. I haven't used getTexterized. And There is also some message attributes, some message cat, and compare, convert, exec, and so on, filter. And that's to work with the specific message catalog that you have for your internationalization. I haven't used these tools. I usually use a web program that will generate these files for me. PO editor is a really good online service that will give you these kind of files back, so you don't have to edit them in your command line, but with this package you will get all those tools. So I will get back to you when this package has completed and have been checked, so we can install it in our system. And we are back, and we have built Gettext. So let's install that one. Let's look at, yeah, we all passed. We had some skipped ones, but we have a good Gettext. And we need to change one library here after the installation, so it's actually executable and runnable and readable by everybody. So let's change that up. Yeah, so it has the executable flag as well. So let's continue. This time we are going to do elf utils, and we are not gonna build a full elf utils. We're only gonna build libelf from the elf utils. So let's start by our standard configure here. Oh, we need to enter the directory first, and then we can do the standard configure with a prefixed USR dir, so we get it in the right user location. Then we will make this one. This is also something that will take some time, 1.3 SPUs. It's not as long as the other one, but it will take a little bit over time. So the libelf is a library to handle elf. And elf is an executable and linkable format file. So that's what you're using in Linux, where you are creating executable files that you link to other files. So all the SO files that we have and all the executable files that we have are, most of them are elf files. So this library will help you handle these kind of files. So if you're writing command line utilities that will look into elf files or will compile against elf files and so on, or load elf files, this is one good library to have. And we're back, and I actually took the liberty to run make check as well, because that will take a bit of time too. So now we need to make libelf and install that. So that means that we install just the library for elf and not the full elf utils. And then we need to run install vm 644 to config libelf pc into usr lib package config. So we will add the libelf pc to the package config directory with the 644 permissions. So let's take the next one. Now we're gonna do libffi. Unpack that. And this is a library that provides a portable high-level programming interface for various calling conventions, allows a programmer to call any function specified by a call interface description at runtime. that sounds like a useful package, but it's very general. First off, we need to modify the makefile to install headers into the standard USR include directory instead of USR lib if yeah, so into a really long directory with lib ffi, so it will happen to be in that include directory, but we want it to be in the standard lib include instead. So we run these two sed commands. Then we need to configure with the standard prefix, disable static, and also add with GCC Arch native. So let's run that. And the native ensures that GCC optimize for the current system, which is not specified. The system is guessed and the code generated may not be correct for some systems. If the code generated code will be copied from the native system to a less capable system, use a less capable system parameter. So that's why we had that. And then we need to do make and make check, and this is 0.3 SPUs, so it's not very long but a little while, so I'll be back when it's done. And we are back, and now we can do a make install of this package as well. So now we have the libffi, the high-level portable language interface. So next up we have a package that is useful, but I think might be replaced, might not. It has been there for a long time, and that's OpenSSL. And there have been other people that have done similar implementation now and try to get people to use that instead, because OpenSSL have been lacking in updates and have been unsecure in some cases. But this is a package that contains tools and libraries related to cryptography, useful for providing functions to other packages such as OpenSSH, email applications, and web browsers for accessing HTTPS sites. And let's do this. So the flags that is required for this one is prefix USR as usual. Then we need to set the OpenSSL dir, and this is the configuration dir, to etc SSL. Then we have the libdir, that's lib, shared, and zlib dynamic is things that we want to configure. So those are the packages, I guess, that we need to put in there to configure. And so it has been successfully configured. So now we can run make and make test, which is the build process, and this will take 1.7 SPUs. So I'll get back when this is done. And we are back, and we have made the OpenSSL package, and we have tested it, and all the tests have passed successfully. So now we need to install the package. First off, we need to change the install libs, libcrypto-a to and libssl-a. So that's a small little change to the make file, and then we will make install with man suffix, so manual suffix SSL. So let's install that. So the manual will put everything under SSL, I guess. Then we need to, if we want to install the documentation, so that seems that we build the documentation now. We have built a lot of documentation, and if we want to install it, which I don't see why, we will move it into the correct directory just changing up, so we add the current version number to the documentation, and then we will copy the doc from that. Copy the current documentation that we have on our system into that directory. So let's see when this is done here. Seems to take a while. And this package has the libcrypto.so and the libSSL, and these are libraries that will be used by OpenSSL, OpenPGP, OpenSSH, and so on. And the libSSL will be used as the TLS version 1 protocol for different things like browsers and so on. We also have a command line OpenSSL tooling that we can use in order to create keys and transfer keys between different key stores and so on. Then we have C_rehash, which is a Perl script that can scan files in a directory and add symlinks to their hash values. So that can be useful for some caching purposes, perhaps, and invalidating. Sounds like it. So there isn't that much in this library, but it's very important for your system. So let's wait. So that was a lot of documentation that we built there. So let's move it into the right spot in the system and then copy some of the documentation files over there. So that was that. I think we have done a lot here, and this video will be broken into smaller parts, and I hope that you found this interesting. I hope that you learned a little bit more about Linux and different components of Linux. And if you have any questions or suggestions, leave them down in the comment section down below. If you like this video, give it a like, share it with your friends and colleagues. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. And I really hope to see you in the next video.